Welcome to part 2 of the Tomos Nitro 50 scooter restoration series. In this video we're going to cover finishing up the gas tank and a couple other little things. I'm your host Chaos Dubs. This is the Chaos Bikes channel. Let's jump right into some weld testing. Okay, we're going to go ahead with this test. That'll do it. Just gonna have to take it super slow. Started off with a couple simple tack welds to hold things in place. Be able to kind of bend this into place a little bit. It's looking just like how we want it to look. That fucking stuck me good. That's the good thing. The shape doesn't have to be totally perfect, so as long as the welds are solid, it'll be alright. Looks really good. So now that we've got this done like this, I think it's about time we put some water in here and see if it's leaking. Because if it doesn't leak, there's really no need to coat it because the rest of the tank is in pretty damn good shape. So let's get some water in here and see what happens. Now we shouldn't need too much, but I brought a bunch just in case. Pour some in here. Oh yeah, we definitely got a little bit of leakage on this side. So I'm just marking off the areas where I see it's leaking from, and then I'll be able to repair them. This one's a little harder to pinpoint. Found it. Most of it looks really good. Really good. So a few more welds, and we'll see how that holds up for us. Alright, well, now that we got that done and sealed up, it may not look the prettiest, but it's nothing that can't be fixed with some lead paint and maybe a little bit of asbestos. So what we're going to do next is we're going to grind down these edges a little bit and make it look a little better. Get ready for installing. Oh, and we can't forget, have to install this bad boy still. Alright, so now that we've got this tank sealed off and this edge all cleaned up, we're going to go ahead and clean up this piece here that's going to attach to our petcock here. But this piece is pretty rusty and messed up, so we're going to see how much we can fix it and then probably replace part of it and then install it here. As you can see, I've marked on the tank right here where it needs to go, up here. And yeah, that should work really good. Let's go ahead and get started. It's not perfect, but it's a lot better than it was. It's definitely going to work for now. So, the next step is going to be figuring out exactly where we need to put the hole. We're going to grab our handy scribe. We're going to extrapolate these lines upwards. Now this doesn't have to be exact because the fuel lines will move a little bit. There's a little bit of play here. And then we want to go roughly a ½ inch in to center. That looks like pretty perfect if you ask me. So we're gonna need to find a drill bit that's gonna fit in here. That's a pretty good guess. I got it right on the first try. Could even go one a hair bigger. I don't really want to push it too far here. It's not like we need to be dumping fuel in like crazy, you know. Also always going to want to use a trusty center punch when you're punching holes like this. So find the rough center of your hole. That should about do it. Now we got to go ahead and weld this back on here. Now we don't want this to move at all, so it's going to be a little bit difficult, but I'm going to have to try and hold it. Not quite. I can just kick it over this way a hair. Almost perfect. It really does look almost perfect here. It looks really good. Almost like new. Right on. Once we put a gasket in there, that'll be good to go. It's perfect. This thing's pretty much ready to go. Next, we're gonna go ahead and get paint done on here. Just a couple of quick coats so it doesn't keep rusting on us. And yeah, we're gonna install it back in the scooter. I need to get a couple more parts. A vacuum hose is busted here. That should only be a few bucks. So this is one of the vacuum lines from the scooter. I noticed that it's got quite a big tear in it there. And it is a 90-degree bend, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to find something that's exactly the same, but I'm going to head over to the old Canadian Tire and try and find something that'll work. I'm also going to go ahead and get some paint. We're going to get this tank painted up today, and then try to do a valve adjustment maybe, and see if that helps. If not, we're going to order some rings and go from there. So I ran to Canadian Tire, I picked up some paint for the tank. I also picked up a piece of this fuel line here, which is pretty large. It's definitely bigger than the piece that we're using here, but the inner hole is roughly the same size, and that's what matters here. So we're going to go ahead and cut a piece of this and try and replace it, and it's probably going to have to be a bit longer. We'll see how that works out. Hopefully that'll cover that gap that we need. We'll see how this works out. So you'll see here, there's all this vacuum bullshit, and I think this might be the carbon filter. Either way, this hose being blown up is going to make a difference when we try and start this thing. So let's go ahead and add this in and see how it fits. There's one side. Now, will this clamp fit still? Probably not. It will not, so we're going to have to put our own clamps on here, no problem. We'll have to go a little bigger, unfortunately, to make this work, but that's okay. Plug that into there. And boom, that should about do it. We'll tighten these guys down. Nice and simple fix. That was easy. Looks alright. It looks like it'll work. Now we can move on. Alright, so we're going to get this tank painted up now. And what we're going to do first is we're going to prep the metal. We're going to clean it up a little bit with some brake clean to make sure there's no grease and no more particles on there. That's going to help us get a better adhesion with the paint. And then from there, we're going to tape off this spigot right here. And then we're going to go ahead and drop some paint. Try to get it high enough where it's all the metal but not the threads. I like using these things, it makes it a little easier on the hands.
Alright, so we're going to do a quick acid rinse with the tank with muriatic acid, and it's super dangerous shit, so we're all kitted up. You should be if you're going to try this. There's other products for this. It's readily available and it's pretty cheap, so we're going to go ahead and use it. We're going to do a quick 2-minute rinse with the tank, then we got to dry it out with a blow dryer, and then once we're done that, we're going to coat it with this stuff that's going to keep it from rusting ever again. Let's get into it right now.
And next we gotta dry it with the blow dryer to make sure it doesn't rust. And now once that's dry, we don't have much time because it's already starting to rust. We gotta pour in this stuff and then we gotta swish it around and coat the entire inside of the tank. So we got this shit called Pour 15. It's for professional use only. I don't think we're gonna need all that much of this stuff. Plug that with something first. That's more along the lines of what we need. We're only going to use about 1/4 or 1/3 of the can. We'll start with that. Want to coat in here as well, right in the top there. So I'm going to put another piece of tape across the top, like that. Now, I'll have a look in here, see if that's coating or if we need more. Probably going to need to add some more. That is making a right mess. Used roughly half the can so far. It's definitely looking much better. We're getting that coating in there. I'd say we're sufficiently covered now, and now the waiting game begins. What else it need? Well, it needs a top end, so I'm going to go ahead and decide what I'm going to do, if I'm just going to do rings or a piston, or if I'm going to go ahead and rebuild it. I'm not 100% sure yet, but first we're going to try the valves. So after we get this tank sorted out, just pretty much now, we're going to go ahead and give the valves a try. Hopefully the valves will work something out. Maybe it's misadjusted. 4-strokes are a pain in the ass. If it's not just the valves, then a rebuild isn't a huge deal. You don't even have to take the engine out of the bike, so that's handy. Let's hope that's all it is for now, and we'll catch you in the next one.